There we go. And I think we're live here now. Let's see. Settings, audio, audio. I think we have audio as well. This is good. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's Wednesday afternoon. It's 2:30 p.m. And you're watching Innovation Fika with Donnie. We're having a Fika together. Fika, of course, in Swedish means coffee break. So we're having a cup of coffee together for, well, half an hour maybe, talking about anything you want. These last couple of episodes, I've been doing Ask Me Anything sessions. And I'm back here in the studio after a couple of incredibly hectic weeks and really happy to just mellow out together with you online. Hopefully, we'll get some people online as well. If you're joining online, please add, as usual, who you are and where you're from, and we can get the conversation going. For the first time viewers, if you've never watched this before, my name is Donnie and I work at the biggest tech university in Sweden as a business coach and also an innovation strategist. And in general, I meet people that have crazy ideas that want to fix things in the world and I help them fix things. So I've been working with this professionally for the last 14 years. And I think we've seen about 4,000 projects pass through our process so far. Personally, I think I've worked with about 350 of those. So I've seen my fair share of ideas in any kind of industry or in any kind of business vertical you can imagine. So I've spent time, quite some time doing that. I've also spent a lot of time working on my own projects. I'm an entrepreneur myself, so I've started a number of projects myself, everything from a bunch of food startups to mobile app tech things, and also lots of fitness things as well. I had a couple of those as well. Anyway, I go live every Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. with this Innovation Fika. It's a Fika break. I usually have a guest in the studio, but as I said, these last couple of times, the last time and this time, I'm just doing a straight up AMA session. Hi, Ash. Good to see you online. I know I haven't actually had time to promote this event. I mean, I always do promotion and I invite people. It's been such crazy weeks. And I've been saying it before, but I'll say it again. I'm actually going to sit down. I'm going to write a summary of the last 6 or 8 weeks or something, because it's been a crazy ride from going to the US, 4 cities in 10 days, coming back, and then having all of these incredible visits to KTH Innovation, from everything from the German Parliament to today, 75 students from the London Business School, to last night, the inauguration of the KTH new Sports Engineering Center, together with the Swedish Olympic Committee and lots of others. So loads of things going on here, apart from us helping people realize their ideas. So, Yash, I see you're online at least. Hopefully, we'll get some more people as well. Maybe there are lots of other people online as well. As usual, feel free to ask me any question, especially, of course, if it regards entrepreneurship or innovation or anything to do with that, because that is kind of my specialty. Although I'm happy to happy to answer any questions that come up. A couple of things that have been going around my mind the past couple of weeks, though, is especially working with all of these delegations and meeting people from other countries, and also seeing how people work, is the importance of an innovation, no, an importance of the ecosystem to enable innovation, because you need a number of different links in the chain of events to help you move through from, well, first of all, even discovery and getting an idea, inspiring people to be able and willing and empowered to actually try and fix something, coming up with an idea or some kind of result from like research, and then that's one part, usually connected to universities, of course, but then of course there's loads of other ways of doing that. Then moving from that part into the early stage innovation support, which we do here at KTH Innovation, where we work with people from when they get the idea of how they intend to fix something to the point where they are good to go and good to start something. So that's sort of where we exist, KTH Innovation. and what we've built here. And then after us comes the incubators and the accelerators, which take over when you're sort of on the market and you're good to go, and you're actually trying to gain more traction and get more customers and then scale and grow. And then after that, you have the whole scale up set up to move people even further down that line. So there are loads of different ways of that's an interesting noise. It sounds like a dog somewhere. Anyway, there's loads of different links in this chain of events that you need to sort of move through as you move from early stage idea to a later stage scale up. And I think that when I meet all of these delegations from different countries, and also when I speak to the Swedish people, I think the importance of identifying the chain of events and different links, identifying where one starts and the next, when one ends and the next starts, and then refining the interfaces between the links so you have a good, feed out, feed in between the two parties. And there can be an overlap, but if there's too much of an overlap, then you'll start competing with each other, and that's detrimental for the system as such. So you don't want a number of actors competing too much with each other. You want them to be more of a sequential linear chain of events than parallel, everybody does everything. A sense of competition or a sense of that there's always an alternative is a good thing, because it keeps people on their toes, and competition is usually the best way of encouraging yourself to become better, because then you have something to benchmark against. So competition is a good thing. Even in a system like this, it's a good thing that there are different alternatives for people, because then everybody in the system needs to sort of kind of keep up with what they're trying to deliver and try to do. So that's a good thing. But you don't want too much, and you don't want people backstabbing or trying to poach each other's cases from each other in the system, because that is detrimental, and that is not constructive for the system as such. So I think that's a really important thing if you're part of building an ecosystem, if you're part of an ecosystem, to understand sort of how do we work together, because it's kind of like any kind of large project or production, be it a stage show or whatever. Everybody backstage needs to work together to get the people performing on stage as well as possible, and it's their performance that you're all trying to enable. Look at this question here from what advice would you give somebody who's considering starting work as an innovation coach, transitioning from being an entrepreneur with a background in engineering? That's actually a really good question, Ashwat. Well, first of all, I would say, if you're serious about the coaching part, then I would actually encourage you to, first of all, become a coach. Also, everybody here at KTH Innovation, just an example, everybody here at KTH Innovation who works as business coaches, we are also certified ICF coaches, because we wanted everybody to have a basic platform in actual coaching. I mean, because meeting people and how you interact with people is a big part, if not the biggest part, of what you do. So I say that anybody who is sort of transitioning into as an engineer or an entrepreneur themselves and wants to work more with coaching, I would actually say that, if you've got the entrepreneurship and the engineering thing down, that doesn't mean you're a good coach. It just means that you have that experience. Then you need to get the coaching thing down. So I'd suggest getting into coaching, taking some courses, practicing being a coach, because that is a profession itself on how you meet people. That would be one thing, of course. And then trying the waters. There are so many accelerators and startup competitions and incubators and you name it, that are always in need of mentors, specific industry mentors in a specific industry, and also mentors to help them mentor their startups and mentor their business cases. And that's a really good way of sort of trying the waters to see how good at this am I actually. And then, of course, as with everything else, be it an entrepreneur, be it any kind of profession, be it any kind of skill that you're trying to work with and work on, there's always room for improvement. So you need to have, just as you're helping other people by being a coach, because that's what you do when you're a coach. You're not a mentor, and coach is two different things. Expert is a whole different thing. A coach is not a mentor. A coach is not an expert. A coach is not necessarily the leader or the captain of the team. The coach is people who coach people to perform. So it's an important distinction there on how you actually work with people. And also, as I said, being open for improvement and actually learning and improving of how to be a good coach. I mean, when you're getting your ICF coaching license, you need to do, like, I don't know, I think maybe the lowest level might be 30 hours or 60 or 100 hours of actual coaching, proven, documented coaching, before you get the first sort of level of basic degree. So that would be my advice. Get into coaching so you can complement your previous or current experience and skill with the actual coaching profession as well. That would be my advice. And you can then try it in by volunteering for a number of different like Founders First, or again, there's so many different online or offline as well, both networks and competitions that are always looking for mentors and people to help out. So that would be my tip for myself. Here's a question from Yash. How was the blood donation? That's a good question. How was the blood donation? That's a good question. Today, you got it there. Today is, of course, World Blood Donor Day. Today, on June 14th, is the World Blood Donor Day, when we raise the awareness about the importance of giving blood. I have not given blood today because I checked in Sweden, we have this very sort of every third month, and I'm 1 day off. I can give blood tomorrow. So ask me again tomorrow, Yash, and I will actually tell you how it was to give blood tomorrow. But usually it's a fantastic experience, at least here in Sweden, because, you go there in the morning. Well, I go in the morning. After I go to the gym, and then I go to blood donation. Perfect. So I lie there, I get a 15-minute nice rest with the whole needle in the arm thing. And then it usually takes, it's over in 6 or 7 minutes for me usually. And then I sit down, I have big healthy breakfast, because you get breakfast. And then when I leave, there you can pick a present. They have a present cupboard. However, I always pick the teddy bear. You can either pick a present for yourself. It can be like a towel or a cup or a t-shirt or something. I always pick the teddy bear, and the teddy bear is, you get to give away a specific teddy bear to a sick child in hospital. So you get to pick a teddy from the shelf and say, I want to give that teddy away, and then they put it in the bag, and then they ship that teddy off to the hospital. And that's what I enjoy doing, because then I both get the joy of giving blood, and I know that I'm doing a small part to hopefully help somebody in need. And I also get to give away a teddy bear to a sick child in hospital. And I cannot think of anything better, and I cannot think of an easier way to help and be a good person in society than giving blood, and also in my case then, or in Sweden at least, giving away the joy of giving. I say it's such an easy way to be to give back. If you're healthy and everything is okay, that I don't see why you shouldn't. So give it a shot. I enjoy it a lot, and I personally usually I feel really, really good. It's like an oil change. You empty out like a half a liter of blood, you need to replenish it. So you need to eat lots of iron, and then you just flush it out, and oil change. It's perfect. I love giving blood. I really do. So what else going on? Let's see. Yes, that was that. Thank you very much. Oh, you're welcome, Ashwood. My pleasure. My pleasure. Anything else? Just ask away. Fire away. What were we talking about? We were talking about the chain of events. We talked about the coaching here as well. That's a big part. It's a skill as well when it comes to how you ask questions, and how you I mean, you never want to tell people what they should do. You should, but it's a fine line. I mean, some people are only on the side where they only ask you questions, where you say, oh, I need to improve this, or I need to understand how to do this. And then they ask you questions. Well, how do you think you could do it? Well, somewhere along the line, you reach the point where people can't answer their own questions themselves. So asking them more questions might not help. But then you can sort of nudge them in a direction by not saying you should do this, but you could say things like, what about this? Or what about thinking about it this way? Or have you ever thought about it this way? And then have a discussion about that. The coaching is a lot about talking, and in discussion, having people seeing new things, I think. Okay. Yash, you ask the best questions. What was my first job ever? Okay, we'll come back to you, Ali. Hang on a minute. My first job ever. Oh my God. Okay. I'm 12 years old. My dad speaks to the guy in the petrol station and asks him if I can stand in the petrol station and sell ice cream for the summer. Yes, that was my first job. I was 12 years old and I helped the guy at the petrol station sell ice cream for a summer. My first real job, I was 12 years old and I made my own first money. It was like so little, but it was like the first, money I made. It was really cool. And then when I was 14, I worked in a bakery carrying sacks of flour and doing the dishes. They had these big casserole, casseroles. The big, what they boiled the custard. What's it called? The custard in, and it was like it was burnt vanilla sauce in Swedish. This like thick, burnt black vanilla cream thing at the bottom. That was really, really cumbersome to get out. That was another job I had when I was 14. I've always been, I mean, since I was 12, 13, 14, 15, I've always had summer jobs, all the crazy summer jobs. When I was 15, 16, I think I spent a summer rolling ice cream cones. They had this, it was a lot of ice cream, right? There was this place they sold scooped ice cream with hand rolled ice cream cones straight from the cone, like a waffle iron thing. So I spent a whole summer rolling ice cream cones and selling ice cream. That was another ice cream. Lots of jobs with ice cream. That's really weird. But I've had a lot of manual labor work. I love manual labor. It's the best thing ever to actually be able to just sometimes turn off your brain and just work with your body. Working in the garden, going to the gym, rolling ice cream cones, things like that. I enjoy that for a strange way. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Okay, Ali, what's the plan for Innovation Fika during time? That's actually a good question, Ali. I'm intending to run it for another couple of weeks. I mean, I go on holiday officially on I think it's like the 13th or 14th. I usually go on holiday midweek, and I usually come back from holiday midweek. I don't like starting on a Monday. I always like starting on a Wednesday or a Thursday, because then you like do 2 days getting into it, and then you can have a weekend and then come back into it on a Monday afterwards. I love coming in on a Thursday or Friday as the first week after the holiday, because then I can just spend that day getting things in place for the Monday when like the work starts. And I usually like to go on holiday like before the Friday. So maybe I'll probably be here until like the 13th. But I will be running Innovation Fika all the way up to the end, and with guests as well. I have guests coming up next week and the week after next. So the coming 3 weeks, there will be an Innovation Fika, and the coming 3 weeks, there will be guests as well in the Innovation Fika. So, join me then. Here we go. Nice. I sort of a website writer on Odesk. Upwork. Cool. Yeah, well, the thing is, one thing, my dad was a surgeon, a doctor, and my mother was a midwife, a nurse. And the one thing, well, not the one thing, one of the many things that my parents taught me and my dad taught me was that, never be afraid of working, because as long as you are healthy and you can work, you will always be able to make an honest day's salary, no matter what you do. And don't disrespect any job. Have respect for anybody who does their job well. Any professional in any job, they deserve respect for doing a job well done. And that is, for me, that is super important. And I've had a number of jobs. I don't look down on any of them. They have all been equally entertaining in their own way, but also equally educational in their own way. And as long as you're never afraid to work and never afraid to just grab a shovel and start digging, you're going to be okay. That's just the way it is. You're going to be okay. It's don't shy away from it. It's jump in the deep end and just get shoveling. And then of course you can always have a plan for where you're going, because many times you take a job which is like a low energy job, and you can think about other things. You take a job like in Hollywood, everybody in every restaurant is like an aspiring actor. Same in Broadway, right? And in Silicon Valley, everybody you meet that is sort of doing part-time jobs to make it work until their startup comes off and takes off. So that's usually, that's how you make it work. And you need to make ends meet. That's simply how it is. I have no, I've had lots of jobs. I have 2-3 jobs at a time. It's, yeah. Well, so what else is going on out there? What is the plan, Ali? What's the plan for you and for Datana? How are you getting on? Let me know. Add a comment in the feed there. What's going on with Datana? Let's see. You are awesome, Donnie. Well, that's I didn't even ask him to write that. So thank you, Ali. That means a lot to me. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And but let me know give us a comment on how Datana's getting on. Ali is running a startup called Datana with, I think, 6 other people, and they're building an AI algorithm that can read camera feeds and detect specific kinds of suspicious behavior going on in the camera feed, and they've specialized on shoplifting. I mean, there's lots of different surveillance camera AI softwares out there, but Datana is specifically oriented in shoplifting. So they've developed AIs that can recognize patterns of movement in store. So when somebody is acting as people do when they're about to shoplift, the software will actually warn the staff that are in the store and say, in aisle 3 something suspicious is going on. So then they can just walk over there and see if it actually is something suspicious, and hopefully be a deterrent, so the shoplifting never happens, or at least just know where to look. So I think that's a really cool software. Let's see here. Lots of things coming up with Atana. That's awesome. We'll be following you closely. They're also alumni from the KTH Innovation pre-incubation program. So cool to see them succeeding, and hopefully seeing them downtown. Hopefully they won't be tracking me in a store. I mean, I would never shoplift, of course. But I might be testing the system, though. I might be. That's the thing. That's another thing, actually, that we could do another show on that. We could do a show only on how difficult it is for people who develop AI services, be it these kind of algorithms, self-driving cars, robots. One of the biggest problems they have is people who intentionally try and mess with them. It's usually a guy, it's usually an engineer, and I don't know why they do it, but they just want to mess with the machine. So many self-driving car examples. When I was in Silicon Valley, when I was working there, I heard so many stories of from the engineers that were working on the self-driving car algorithms, of the problems they have in traffic with people who, as soon as they see a self-driving car, will try and mess with it. They jump out in front of it, or they try and swerve with their car in front of it to see what's going to happen, to like prove the machine wrong. What, I mean, ugh, what's wrong with people? You mean, thanks, Donnie. Thank you. I mean, I managed to pitch the Tana quite well. Thank you. And a disclaimer: I did not pay for the shout out. Very good. No, you did not. And I'm just happy to do it, Ali. Happy to do it. My pleasure. I've enjoyed working here with you and the team a lot, and I look forward to following your journey going up forward as well. Wow, look at that! It's 14:57. We've already spent a half an hour with each other. It's crazy how fast these half an hours go. I must say, I know. I mean, I love having guests in the studio. I'm not, but I do also love the shows when we just get. I know that we're not speaking to each other. Maybe we should do like an interactive Zoom call sometime as well. But I do enjoy just being able to sit down here and have a conversation and take questions as they come. Happily, because I mean, there's so much we can talk about. There's so much we can talk about. With that, we have 3 shows to go. I think it's like, see, it's what is it today? The 14th, and then 21st, 29th. No, yeah, at least 3. Maybe I'll get 4 shows in before the summer break. 3 to 4 shows. I will have guests for the last shows. I promise you that. So tune in next week, Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. Innovation Fika. Bring your coffee. I've got my coffee here. And have a great week. Bye for now. Thanks, everyone. And thanks for being online. Appreciate it a lot. Bye for now.